Maybe Sam was the lucky one. He checked out before any of this shit.
Maybe. He was only 38, though.
Yeah, but still, he didn't have to deal with 9/11. He
True.
hasn't deal with any of this shit.
I agree.
For God's sakes, he didn't have to chase Pokemon on the around the streets.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight.
Are we good?
Yes.
Because I have stories about Pokemon Go as well tonight.
Oh, my God.
I have 2 stories about Pokemon.
When I've been catching up on some of the news this week and the silliness that's going on out there and stupid, I hate, I'm at this point. I just absolutely abhor social media.
Oh yeah,
absolutely hate it. I had a lot of disdain for it before, but I now have even worse disdain for it.
Well, Pokemon Go's not social media, is it?
Well, it's all internet based. It's social. Yeah, it's social media. Of course it is, because it's a group thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because people play in groups, or they know where people are and they can track you and all this other stuff. So I guess it would be social media, right?
I guess. I mean, it's an app. I know that. It's
but
you don't play it through like Facebook or anything.
No, but people can connect to you, I guess.
Something like that. I'll explain it later when we get into this, because I literally got the full course of how it works.
But regardless of that, it's just how stupid adults are.
Oh, it's horrendous.
Ugh.
It's horrendous.
I could never even imagine myself being involved with Pokemon Go or any kind of a app game like that.
Yeah, I saw the story, and I'm sure this is the story you're going to read about the girl that got hit by the car.
Oh well, I got numerous stories.
Oh, good.
It's just not just one incident; it's many incidences.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, people that are not playing Pokemon Go but see people playing it on the street should run off into the sidewalk and just run them over.
You know what? If you said that on your Facebook, you work for yourself.
Yeah.
There have been people all over the country, mostly law enforcement or fire department people, who have been posting things on their stupid Facebook about this Black Lives Matter.
Oh, yeah, and they're all fine.
And they're all saying, if you see these people in the street blocking highways and roads, just hit the gas and run their fucking ass over.
Over, exactly.
If you see these Pokemon Go people, run them over.
Yeah. Fired! Fired!
You're out of here. You're suspended.
How dare you?
You're racially insensitive. You're Pokemon insensitive.
You are a Pokemon racist. Anybody with your political correct bullshit, fuck you.
Right.
It's that simple. If you're politically correct, fuck off.
Yes. Think for yourself.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. But anyway, as I said to you before, I've been scouring the news and for stories and all kinds of good stuff, because I'm just in a lighthearted mood tonight.
Glad you are. I'm in the mood to drink a lot of beer tonight.
A lot of beer.
So by all means, keep the stories coming so that I can get my head wrapped around it as I get it wrapped full of alcohol.
Alcohol-fueled brutality, as it were.
Right.
We love that.
My Black Label moment.
Right. So, to swing things around to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you and your pinball thing? You got things going on over there? I know that you got some sign-up shit going on and some tournaments and all kinds of things happening. Speaking
of things that you hate... Yeah, we actually, as far as the pinball place goes, we did sign a deal this week with 535 Media, which is a pretty big company. We're going to be doing some tournaments, some gaming tournaments. So, with the gaming tournaments that are going to be going on, we're having, people come in to play their little games. On there, they'll bring their laptops and they'll come in and they'll play, and it's catered, and they get to play the video games and pinball and shit. Once they get eliminated from the tournament. But it's a pretty big deal. It's for this game called Hearthstone, which I know you know nothing about.
Sure.
I'm learning about it on the fly, but apparently it's a big deal, so.
For who? What age group does this appeal to?
Well, it's funny you ask me.
I'm very curious.
Because I would have thought it would have been like 15 to 20. And the very first guy that signed up was 46. The first guy, 46 years old.
And did you ask him, do you still live in your mom's basement?
Now he's a lawyer. He makes enough money not to live with his mom.
Okay.
But dude, we're just in a way, I'm going to agree with the statement you made before. We are just dinosaurs. Because this fucked up faggot-ass world these days is just full of fucking...
Dude, you can't say fucked up faggot-ass world. You can't say that.
I can, and I did.
No. I'm going to have to censor you. I'm going to have to shut your mic off if you do that. I'm going to have to, censor your language.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're
this softer generation. Can I say that? Can I say the softer generation?
Well, dude, I think we covered on that I think we did that about a week ago, where I think I titled it the America's Becoming Weak Ass Pussies or something like that.
Easy, no. Can't castigate me, then use the same language now, sir.
I know.
I mean, that's a little rude. I'm going to have to go sit at my safe place. Recover from your language.
Right.
I don't understand the world. I'm going to definitely make my money from it.
Okay.
That's just what it boils down to. I'm going to definitely make, if there's money for me to make off it, I'm going to make it.
Right.
It's that simple. And I am. And look, I hope that a bunch of people come out, and I hope they enjoy the tournament and they win their prize and their trophy.
And what do they get?
What do they get? They get some sort of a trophy and a big prize pack with a bunch of games from 535 Media. And
now, what is 535 Media? Where are they based, and what's their story, and how did you get involved?
They are a subsidiary of the Tribune out of Pittsburgh, which is the big paper in Pittsburgh.
Sure.
And that's how I got involved. Was the CEO of the Tribune reached out to me and asked me if I would be involved.
Okay.
And I said, of course I will.
Now, how does this? Obviously the what are you calling that place now?
What, the Pinball PA?
Yeah, what is it called?
Pinball PA.
Okay. Pinball PA.
Yeah.
How does this relate to this online gaming thing?
It doesn't necessarily, except for that, one, it's the same audience, kind of. We have the same people that will play our games will also play this game.
Okay.
And we have a big enough room to host a big tournament.
Okay. Look. Nathan, Jesus Christ.
That's fucking funny.
That is funny.
But yeah, that's kind of how it relates. It's all based on audience.
Okay, I gotcha.
Audience cume, as it's called.
Sure. All right, well, good.
Yeah. I mean,
now does this benefit you monetarily?
Wow. Not in a
direct sense, but more in a promotional sense.
Well, no, I've put $6,000 of hard cash that I've earned just since I started this from them. I've made $6,000.
Okay.
Plus, $10,000 worth of advertising with the paper, and that'll be good for business.
Now, when you say $10,000 worth, that's a trade.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, they're making it. They want it to be full as well because.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. I'm just asking the questions here.
I mean, they've got news coverage that's going to cover it, and
sure,
obviously the paper itself will come out and cover it, and all that stuff. So
okay, fair enough.
So it'll, I the worst I'm going to do is making $6,000. The best I'm going to do is make $50,000. So
okay.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a win-win.
Well, good. I mean, I'm glad you're able to branch, because branch out into other mediums because, obviously the physical games that you offer
sure
are games that people have to come there and physically work a joystick and everything,
right.
As opposed to these online games where people, they use their keyboard or their pad or.
Well, this is like an online card game.
Okay.
So it's almost like a physical game, except the cards are in the computer.
Okay.
They have to connect with their laptop, but then they're playing cards.
Sure.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, well, again, I never played Dungeon and Dragon. I wasn't one of those guys either.
Right.
I did physical stuff when I was growing up. I didn't, sit there and, play online games and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. I was working on engines and shit.
Chasing ass.
Yes.
That's what it was. There was no time for that.
I didn't do that stuff. I lived a life. I didn't live in my mom's basement. I was out of the house by 18.
Right. Help me too. 17.
I lived in LA from the time I was 20 until the time I was 26 or 27. I chased ass. I partied. I lived.
You had to tell me, dude, I was in another country by the time I was 18 years old.
And the thing is I don't get this. It's tough for me as a guy who did what I've done and a guy that, like yourself, who's traveled the world.
Yeah.
And was in the military and guarded, dignitaries and decorated men and, went to bang sluts and all kinds of stuff. And these kids or these guys or people, 20-some years old, 30-something years old, who never left home.
Well, you know what, dude? Pokemon Go, they get to get outside now. It's good for them. It's kind of the same. Traveling the world, walking around to pick up a pretend, Bulbasaur or whatever. It's the same.
I was building engines and racing cars and,
Dude, they're building up their Pokemon's hit points. You act like that's not important. Do you know how difficult it is to evolve your Pokemon once you capture it?
Apparently I don't.
I mean, dude, that's every bit as hard as fucking giving a fucking tune-up to a Buick or something.
I still have one of the cars I had in college. I had a 74 Nova Super Sport.
Right.
I still have that. Still have it.
Well, that's your fault. You should trade it in for a fucking extra bonus pack on Pokemon Go. Think of the scoring you could do if you had that much money's worth of shit you could buy.
Right.
You could do a lot better than these kids.
I'm sure. Yes, there was nothing better than driving that Buick Regal Grand National with a naked girl in the passenger seat. That wasn't living.
You say that, but you could. You just now hear me out. You could live your life as a highest level Pikachu. Now let's think this through.
Funny.
Are you sure that that's what you would want to do? Have naked chicks in your car?
Right.
Be a Pikachu evolving?
Right.
Sounds like you're missing out, dude.
There is nothing better than driving a high horsepower car with a naked girl in the passenger seat reclined.
Nothing better?
Nothing better.
Are you sure?
Look at that. The AOR Rock said he used to have a GNX.
Did he?
That's a real collector's item if that's true.
Is that a man's car?
That's a man's car.
I don't even know what that is.
That's a Buick Regal Grand National 1987. They only made like 562 of them or something like that.
Okay. It's not as good as catching a Jirachi.
Apparently not.
It's really not. Dude, you're just missing the boat.
I guess I am. I'm just a dinosaur.
You really are, man.
Just call me a faggot. Just call me a weak faggot for enjoying life.
I know this. You've never worked on evolving an Absol, have you?
Apparently I haven't. Apparently I haven't.
You're failing.
I guess.
You're failing at life.
I guess. What a waste I've been.
Yeah.
52 years gone, and it's just been a waste.
I'd spent all that time, how many years? 5 years traveling the world. And instead of traveling all over the place, I went to 30 countries.
Sure.
Instead, all I needed was an iPhone and an app download.
Right.
And I could have been just as happy.
You lived life, man.
No, I wasted it. I could have been spending that time.
Look at Carolina in the chat room. Neely is a weak faggot.
I'm thinking, you are.
I love it.
I mean, Jesus, you don't play Pokemon Go. You'd never play Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
Next thing you're going to tell me is that you don't have a wolf costume in there in your closet for when you're fucking chicks.
I don't.
Jesus, dude.
I know. I'm missing out somehow.
Jesus. Where is your safe place? All over your house? Do you consider your house your safe place now?
It's my safe space because I lived in a gated community.
If you had your way, you'd put up the Donald Trump wall around your house,
You're probably right. You're probably right. I'm a failure.
Ugh. This society is fucking fucked.
Yeah. 20 years ago, I didn't venture out and, go to broadcasting school and have an idea for a show and, spend a lot of time and effort developing a show that's lasted 20 years. Instead, I could have been playing Pokemon. You
could have been. I mean, you could have been. Think about how high your hit rate would be, your hit points would be, if you had been playing Dungeons and Dragons all this time.
Look at Jess in the chat room. Neely, you sound like a pussy. I love that. Wow.
This society is just fucking doomed.
I didn't travel on band buses. I didn't, go to a million shows. I didn't hang out with, some of the biggest rock stars ever. Didn't do any of that. Hung out with Evel Knievel. What a pussy that guy was.
Fucking
faggot that guy was.
Yeah, there's nothing good about that stuff. Nothing at all. You could have had so much more fun.
You're probably right.
Just playing whatever video games.
Sure.
Love it.
I would never, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't trade my life and my experiences for anything.
I might trade one or two of mine, but
I wouldn't. I've done everything I wanted to do. I've met every person on this planet I've ever wanted to meet.
Yeah. I might give back the burning to death.
Yeah, well, that thing was pretty rough.
I might give that one back. Other than that, I think I'd probably keep the rest. That one, though, I think I'd be willing to let someone else have.
Yep. Well, an hour is gone, my friend.
Well, that was fast.
It was, and I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take a short break.
All right.
Chris needs to refill his beer.
Yes.
And I need to go. I'm drinking tonight. I haven't been doing that. I'm drinking just vodka.
Vodka.
I'm drinking vodka.
Should I drink vodka too and see who gets fucked up?
Well, I'm not. I don't plan on getting fucked up because I don't enjoy getting fucked up. I do like to feel. I like to feel good, but I just don't like the feeling of waking up the next day and feeling like staying in bed all day.
Well, if you're not getting fucked up, then I'm not drinking with you.
Well, I'm going to drink some, but I'm not going to get fucked up.
All right.
Let's see. What is this? Neely had a better life than most of these kids will ever imagine. You're right about that.
Dead wrong. Dead wrong. Neely has never, ever once purchased a set of Pokemon cards.
You're right. I did not.
In fact, I'll bet you never even watched the show.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story now that you're talking about Pokemon.
All right.
I was dating a girl.
Yes.
Back in the 90s when Pokemon first became big as a cartoon and the cards and all that other shit.
Okay.
And she had a son who he's a grown man today, but at the time he was only, 9, 10 years old, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And he had this addiction to Pokemon.
Oof, sorry.
I know. And it bothered me. It really did. It bothered me. Because this kid just wanted to do Pokemon stuff.
Okay.
And what I did is I went out and I bought him a baseball bat, a glove, a ball, and I dragged him outside to play ball instead of messing around with the Pokemon stuff.
Okay.
But he had such an affection for this Pokemon that I was just like starting to question his
heterosexuality.
Yes. How did you know that?
Because I know you, and the way you are. The minute you saw this kid play a Pokemon instead of wanting to throw the football or whatever,
right?
whatever. Like, faggot!
Well, I didn't say that, of course.
Come on, that's what you were thinking.
That's what I was thinking. I will be honest. I didn't say it, but I was thinking.
Of course you were.
So
I bet you were. I know you were.
I was, and I will admit that is absolutely the case. So anyway, it bothered me that this kid was so ingrained with Pokemon that it consumed him, and it was not something that I liked the fact that he was so involved with it.
It wasn't flattering.
No, not at all. So I tried to get him involved in some real things rather than live his life through a cartoon and stupid Pokemon cards. All right, well, we're going to go take a short break.
And how did it work out?
Well, he ended up, I broke up with his mother, not long after that. That had nothing to do with it. But regardless of that, I know that he ended up driving a truck for a living for a while, and I guess he ended up married. I'm not really sure. I know he has a kid now, and it's just a lot of water under the bridge. But I just did not like the whole Pokemon thing at all. So just was not my thing. And now that it's kind of resurfaced with a game and adults are involved with this and doing stupid things over it, it's kind of sad. So that's my viewpoint on it. I guess I'm just being old. I guess I'm being old and crotchety. But anyway, we're going to take a short break here. I'm going to play some Jet Boy. I like the band Jet Boy. I haven't played any of these guys in a long time. So I'm going to play something from, let's see here. What should we play? We'll play something from... should I play something from? Yeah, let's play something from the Damnation release. Let's play some Stomp Down on the Bricks. So here's Jet Boy exclusively here on your Classic Metal Show.
This is Billy Rowe from Jet Boy. Get ready to feel the shake on the Classic Metal Show.